How many bikes does one rider truly need to have a happy and fulfilled riding life? The common joke is N+1, where N is the number of bikes you currently have, and you always need one more than that.
Today we're going to take a deep dive into how many bikes is the right number to own. You're going to find the answer is much deeper than N+1.
Okay, while I love the N+1 joke, and I fall into that trap mentally quite a bit, mostly because it just takes me a quick glance at Cycle Trader or to watch a really good bike review video on YouTube to get me to want a new bike. Okay, even if it's a crappy review and it's a Lowrider S, I'm still gonna want the Lowrider S.
Let's think more deeply about this. Like a lot of answers to thoughtful questions, it's a little bit more complicated than a good joke. The 30,000 foot view is that there is no one right answer for every single rider. It all depends on what you want to do with your bikes and the size of your wallet.
And for some, how willing you are to be by Harley Financial.
There are riders who are content to go on weekend rides, typically when the weather is perfect, and they typically have other responsibilities or interests occupying their lives. For these riders, the correct answer is one bike.
And if they end up selling that bike, that low mileage bike becomes the dream bike of the polar opposite type of rider. Ask later how many is the right amount, and the answer will always be all of them. Because for this type of rider, every bike is their dream bike.
I think every rider watching this video will find that their sweet spot is in the middle of those two extremes.
And if you're a subscriber to this channel because you are looking for that killer Iron 883, or you want to dabble into the world of off-road with a CRF 300L, don't worry, it's only a matter of time before you're gonna fall in love with motorcycling and want another bike. And you'll find yourself in the middle of those two extremes as well.
You will spend the whole of your life trying to find that sweet spot. In reality, you'll find that it's wavering. One moment, you'll be content with the number of bikes you have, and the next, you'll have an insatiable appetite for many bikes.
Do you really ride that KLR 650, that lightweight dual sport bike, that Sportster, and that Road King that all sit in your stable? For many of us, the answer is yes. And for many of us, the answer is, I think I need to add another one. For me, that sweet spot is 4. I'll get into the reasons why it's 4 in a little bit. But first, take a moment to leave some comments down below and let the Great Eager community know how many bikes you think is the perfect amount to own. Now before you click away saying, 4 bikes, that's a ridiculous amount. I don't have that kind of money. Truthfully, I don't right now either. That's why I only own 2 bikes. Stick around, because I'll get more into this a little bit later.
If you've been here long enough, or you've been part of the Great Eager community in the comments, you know that the horses in my stable have varied greatly. At one time, I bought and sold bikes for profit.
That is a whole new level of N+1. You get to enjoy the bikes and then let them go. A friend of mine in Vermont fosters dogs. I'd like to compare the experience of buying and selling bikes to that. Ephemeral, but fun nonetheless.
I feel the answer to this question needs to be tailored more towards the rider. To get to that answer, one must answer a question with a question.
What type of riding do you want to do?
The best horses in your stable are the ones that provide a specialized role for each type of riding you want to do. Each one should have a defined role. Without that, a bike likely wouldn't be ridden very much, and you should move it out for another that would fit a role that you have in mind.
This can vary greatly from rider to rider and vary wildly from season to season. Some call this indecisiveness. I call this opportunistically riding every bike that interests me.
When I first started riding, I had one bike, my Iron 883. I rode that bike year-round in the heat of the summer where it felt like I was on rails because the tires gripped so well, and in the snow of winter. Now, I'm man enough to admit that it's not the grippiest of bikes, and it's a terrible bike in bad weather, but it's the only bike I had.
But with the Iron 883, I fell in love with riding a motorcycle, and nothing was going to take me away from that. Once I became more enlightened in the world of motorcycling and all the flavors possible, I wanted to ride different types of bikes. And with that came my desire to own more than one bike.
Now, as fun as a Sportster is to ride, and as crazy modifiable it is, there are better bikes for riding long distance. And it's a lot of fun to watch YouTubers modify Sportsters into dual sport sporties. But there are most definitely better bikes for off-road than the Sporty.
Yep, let's pause for a moment and mourn the fact that I just said that there are better bikes out there for long distance than the Sporty. But I will still take it on moto camping adventures, and I will always contend that it is still a capable bike long distance.
I've owned as many as 7 bikes at one time that I would consider my own. In this video, you've seen the 2 that I currently own. This Sportster and the Honda CRF 300L Rally that I use for riding any place this Sporty can go. Basically, that's off-road.
If you're doing the math in your head, you've realized that I'm missing 2 bikes from my 4-bike rule. So what are the 4 bikes that I would want? These would be an adventure bike or sport tourer capable of long distance, a cruiser that's great around town and across country, a lightweight dual sport for off-road adventures, meaning I'm not going to be picking up a heavy adventure bike every 15 feet.
And finally, a Sportster. Why? Because this is the bike that provided stress-releasing commutes home from a crappy job and many get-lost rides that helped me melt away my depression in the breeze as it passed by me. This Sportster holds a special place in my heart and therefore will always hold a place in my stable.
Will these 4 categories stay the same throughout the rest of my life? Will I drop a few or even add one? The answer to that is emphatically yes.
I've proven to viewers on this channel, and more importantly to myself, that I'm open to change, especially when it brings on a new and exciting adventure.
The main point here is the number of bikes a rider has can and will change. For some, it's only going to be once in their lifetime. For others, each new season. It all depends on the rider's needs and how you categorize them, as I have.
If you've enjoyed this video, do what we all do when we really enjoy the comment. Like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching this one, guys. Ride safe out there. Keep your wheels rolling in the right direction. I'll see you in the next one.